Let's be honest. In most developed countries, people can get food just about anywhere. They can get it delivered. They can heat it up. They can grab it on the way home from work. So if good food alone brought people in, then restaurants really wouldn't be struggling the way that they are today. And that's an uncomfortable truth that a lot of small restaurant owners don't want to confront. People don't buy food, they buy experiences. In today's video, I want to explain why food alone is no longer the deciding factor, what customers are actually choosing when they decide where to eat, and the 4 types of experiences that restaurants are really selling, whether they realize it or not. Let's get into the video. Okay, here's why good food is no longer a strategy. See, good food is expected now. It's table stakes. It's basic. Customers assume that if you're running a restaurant, that the food will be decent. They assume that the kitchen knows what it's doing. They assume that the meal will be acceptable. Good food by itself does not create urgency in the minds of diners. Good food by itself does not create memory. It doesn't automatically create repeat visits. It keeps you in the game, but it doesn't help you win. Okay, so let's talk about what customers are really deciding, what they're really thinking about when they choose a restaurant. See, when someone chooses a restaurant, they're rarely asking, where is the best food? They're really asking, what feels easy right now? What feels familiar? What fits my mood, time, and energy? What won't disappoint me? Those are not food questions. Those are experience questions. Okay, so here are the 4 types of experiences that restaurants create for customers. Experience number 1 is convenience. Now, for a lot of customers, the experience they're buying is relief. Relief from cooking, relief from deciding, relief from waiting, relief from uncertainty. That is why speed matters in your restaurant, especially if you have a fast casual type restaurant. That's why clarity matters. That's why predictability matters. If your restaurant helps people move through their day smoothly, that's the product. Food is a part of it, but convenience is the true value. That's the real value proposition that you offer to your customers. Experience number 2 is comfort and familiarity. Now, in uncertain or stressful times, especially in financially stressful times, people don't want to experiment. They don't want to play games with their money. They want food they understand. They want environments they recognize. They want outcomes they can reliably predict. That is why customers tend to default to the same places, even when better food might exist elsewhere. Comfort isn't boring, it's reassuring. Restaurants that provide emotional safety consistently will outperform restaurants that rely on novelty alone. Experience number 3 is feeling understood. Now, this is one of the most overlooked experiences for small independent restaurants. Now, a lot of times when I do consulting, I'll look at a restaurant dining room and I'll typically see men who are single, maybe in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. They're there because they feel understood. Maybe they know the staff. Maybe they have a transactional but semi-personal relationship with the waitress. They know them. They know what they want to order, and they feel understood. Customers naturally want to feel seen. They want to feel welcomed. They want to feel known, like they matter. You can do this from the way that you greet customers, how the menus and the food speak to them personally. Maybe they trigger a memory from childhood, or maybe it's how the staff interacts with the customer, how the staff explains things, maybe how the restaurant communicates with the diners. See, when customers feel understood, price matters a lot less. Mistakes are forgiven more quickly, and loyalty, well, it grows quietly behind the scenes. Experience number 4 is memory and meaning. The most powerful experience restaurants sell isn't food, It's memory. People remember how a place made them feel. People remember who they were with at the time. People remember what the moment represented. Food is the vehicle, but memory is the destination. People want to make memories. That is why restaurants that are tied to routines, life stages, culture, personal history, they stay relevant even when trends change, even when new concepts and new, fancier or more complex novelty restaurants come on the scene. Those don't have the memory that the more familiar restaurants do. Now, here's why all of this matters so much for small independent restaurants. See, independent restaurants can't compete on scale. They can't compete on price. They can't compete on convenience alone, but they can compete on human connection. They can compete on meaning in the minds of your diners. They can compete on experience clarity. Chains sell consistency, independents sell context, and context is powerful in the minds of diners. Now, here's why a lot of restaurants struggle to see this. See, a lot of restaurant owners are too close to the food. They think, well, we need to focus on improving the menu. But customers already believe that the food is fine. What they're unsure about is whether it fits their moment, whether it's worth the effort, whether it feels safe to choose, whether it's worth a place in their budget for that evening. The gap is not a culinary gap, it's experiential. So, how should this change the way you approach things? Well, if people are buying experiences, then marketing is not about features. Menus are not just lists of food anymore. Service is not just transactional. Visibility matters a lot more than perfection in the dining room. Every touch point either reinforces the experience or weakens it. But the good news is you get to choose. Okay, so the core idea here is simple. Food gets people fed, but experience gets restaurants chosen. Restaurants that understand this, they don't chase attention. They create familiarity. They create ease. They create reasons to come back, reasons to return to their restaurant. So as we wrap up, remember that good food keeps you open, but experience keeps you relevant. And in a world where people can get food anywhere, relevance is what fills seats and fills cash registers. In the post-pandemic economy, remember, good food is just not good enough anymore. And if no one walks in the front door of your restaurant, then nothing else matters. I'm Donovan Garrett. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.